Hey everyone, Jen Thompson with you on behalf of Lighthouse for Life, joined by my dear friend in ministry, Kristen Jenson. Thanks.
Hi.
Yes, thanks for joining us today. So Kristen, we got a lot of feedback from the original interview we did with you, and we're doing a series of question and answer now. So we'll jump right into today's question. How do you help your child feel safe enough to tell you if they have seen something inappropriate?
That is a great question. A couple of years ago, I did a series of interviews with people that said that they had been addicted to pornography or were in recovery or trying to get in recovery. And all of them had been exposed as a child to pornography, but really none of them had anywhere to go to talk about it, except maybe friends. But I mean, they all just no parent. So a parent really needs to open the door and invite the child in, basically, because so many kids, and from when I've talked with experts on this, they say that most kids will not come and tell you. You would think they would if you have a really good relationship with your child.
Yeah.
Of course, they would tell you something as traumatic as that, but they feel it. They feel that it's shameful. They feel like they might get into trouble, or the person that showed them would get into trouble, or no one's ever talked to them. They don't have the vocabulary to even know what they saw or describe it. It's just befuddling to them, and so they don't say anything. So it's so important for them to feel safe, and the way they feel safe is you talk to them first. You open the conversation. You assure them that they're not bad if they're curious. They're not bad if they see something. In the junior book, we have I have, even if you see a bad picture, that doesn't make you a bad kid.
I love that.
Right? So bring down the shame, right? One mom told me that she had her little girls were playing over at a friend's house, and she drove up to pick them up. And as she drove up, she saw her two girls talking to the friend in the front yard, and the friend was showing them something on a phone. Now, these were young girls. So kind of sad that little girl had a smartphone in the first place. I'm really against giving young children smartphones. And when the two little girls got in the car, the mom just said, "Oh, what was she showing you on the phone?" And they looked at each other and they said, "Oh, it was just a My Little Pony video." So months later, when this mom found good pictures, bad pictures, and read it to her kids, they told their mom, they said, "Mom, it wasn't a My Little Pony video. It was pornography that she was showing us."
Wow.
And she said, "They had lied to me, not because they're bad kids, but they simply didn't have the vocabulary, and they simply didn't know how to do it." But if you talk to them, you give them the vocabulary, you tell them, you give them that expectation. Kids rise to expectations. You give them that expectation, and then they'll come and tell you. Most kids will. So that's how you make a child feel safe. And obviously there are other things in parenting that make children feel safe, opening up to you. But that is definitely one when you're talking, explicitly about pornography exposure.
Do you mind if I ask a follow-up question that
Sure.
I've just kind of had evolve in my mind as I listened? When you say you opened the door for them, I could see where some people might say, okay, well, I did. We read that book, done. Doors open.
Oh,
To this?
yeah. Well, yeah, it's never a one and done conversation. When you think about other topics that are important that you talk to your kids about, it's not a one and done conversation. And in fact, they've done some studies that show that, a one and done conversation can be worse than nothing, almost, because you open the door and then you shut it again, basically. That's what you're doing when you say, "Okay, You know, I'm going to talk about sex. Boom. But don't ever talk to me about it again. It's so shameful, you know? So we have to keep it open. The way we keep the door open is by continuing the conversation on a regular basis. Now, you don't have to do it every day. You don't even have to do it every week, but on a regular basis, because the porn industry is getting those messages out on a regular basis, and they're not afraid or shy. We need to be fighting back and being proactive. So our kids deserve it. No child deserves to face the porn industry alone.
I love that. That's the truth. So to just encapsulate everything we just talked about, just to kind of sum it up, how do we help our children feel safe? We initiate, we create the safe environment, we affirm who they are, not what they've done, and we maintain it by casual, continual conversation in pursuit of just always being available and not creating, we talked about it, so now we don't have to.
Right. And sometimes a child might, you may know that one particular, you know, we all know we have different children, right? Children can be, we have that one kid that talks about everything, and that other kid that, you know, it's like pulling teeth to get them to say anything. So for those kids, you know, maybe you could say, if you don't want to just come and tell me, you can write me a note, right? So find a way that's comfortable for each of your children.
I like that. Yeah, there's no set prescription because everybody is so different and we all have our own stories. Kristen Jenson, always excellent advice. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Jen.